Welcome to Module 6, Section 3 of your California Contractor License Exam Prep course. In this lesson, we're diving into Title 24, Part 11, also known as CalGreen, California's mandatory green building code. As a B2 residential remodeling contractor, you'll encounter CalGreen requirements on many permitted residential projects. Even though you're not building new homes, the green building rules still apply to remodels, especially when you're working on interiors, replacing finishes, plumbing fixtures, or dealing with construction waste. CalGreen was the first statewide green building code in the US, and it's an essential part of California's strategy to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve indoor air quality, and conserve natural resources. Title 24, Part 11 applies to both residential and non-residential buildings and covers a wide range of topics, including low-emission materials, water efficiency, waste management, and indoor environmental quality. The requirements you'll need to follow depend on the scope of the remodel and whether or not your project requires a permit. Let's start with one of the most important and frequently enforced elements of CalGreen: low VOC materials. VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, are chemicals found in many building materials and finishes, including paints, stains, adhesives, sealants, and caulks. These compounds release vapors into the air and can affect both health and indoor air quality. CalGreen mandates the use of low VOC or zero VOC products for almost all finish work in permitted residential remodeling projects. That means you must select paints, primers, floor finishes, and construction adhesives that meet the limits set by the California Air Resources Board, CARB, or the South Coast Air Quality Management District, SKQMD. Rule 1113. If you're painting interior walls, for example, the paint must meet CalGreen's low VOC thresholds, typically no more than 50 grams per liter for flat paints and 100 grams per liter for non-flat finishes. These numbers will appear on the product label or in the product's technical data sheet. Similarly, adhesives for wood flooring, carpet, tile, and trim must meet specified limits for grams per liter of VOC content. It's your responsibility to verify compliance before purchasing or applying these products. Inspectors may ask for the product data sheet during final inspection, and failure to provide documentation can delay permit sign-off. Next, CalGreen also applies to plumbing fixture replacements. When you remodel a bathroom or kitchen and you're replacing toilets, faucets, or shower heads, you must install high-efficiency, water-conserving fixtures. For example, toilets must use no more than 1.28 gallons per flush, and faucets must not exceed 1.2 gallons per minute in most residential applications. Shower heads are limited to 1.8 gallons per minute. These requirements apply to all new installations in permitted remodels, and again, you'll need documentation showing that the fixtures meet or exceed these standards. Look for WaterSense labeled products and always keep the spec sheets on file for the inspector. Another key CalGreen requirement that B2 contractors need to follow is job site waste management. The code requires that at least 65% of non-hazardous construction and demolition debris be diverted from landfills through recycling or reuse. This applies to most permitted residential remodels that include demolition. In practice, this means you'll need to separate materials on site, such as wood, concrete, drywall, and metal, and deliver them to a certified recycling facility. Some cities require that you submit a construction waste management plan as part of the permit application process. Others may require you to track weights or receipts from recycling facilities and submit a final diversion report. Always check your local building department's CAL green compliance procedures before starting work. Let's not forget moisture control and indoor air quality. CalGreen requires contractors to implement best practices that reduce mold and moisture issues during and after construction. For instance, if you're installing tile or flooring over a concrete slab, you may be required to test the slab for moisture vapor emission rate and apply a sealer or vapor barrier if needed. When installing insulation, the code requires that it be kept dry and that materials are protected from rain during storage and transport. CalGreen also prohibits installing wet-applied materials like paint or drywall mud in areas that haven't properly dried out or been ventilated. Ventilation is another indoor air quality focus. If your remodeling work involves replacing mechanical ventilation fans in kitchens, bathrooms, or laundry rooms, you must meet the minimum airflow rates outlined in CalGreen and follow the energy code overlap. For bathrooms, this typically means 50 CFM for intermittent fans or 20 CFM for continuous operation. Make sure the products you install are properly rated and listed by a recognized testing body. CalGreen also promotes installer and subcontractor accountability. That means if you hire a subcontractor to perform flooring, drywall, or cabinetry work, they must also comply with CalGreen standards. For example, if they're using adhesives or sealants, those products must meet low VOC standards, even if you didn't apply them yourself. As the primary contractor, you're responsible for ensuring that the entire job is CAL Green compliant. This includes documenting the materials used, storing spec sheets, and making those documents available for the inspector if requested. CalGreen is mandatory for all new construction and most significant remodeling work. That said, the enforcement threshold for remodels varies by jurisdiction. Some cities and counties enforce CalGreen on any project that triggers a permit, while others apply it only when the project exceeds a certain valuation or square footage. For that reason, you should always confirm with the local building department before assuming that CalGreen doesn't apply. Ignoring the code can lead to inspection failures, fines, or CSLB complaints from your client if the work is not up to code. In summary, Title 24. Part 11, CalGreen, exists to promote energy efficiency, indoor air quality, and responsible waste management in California construction. As a B2 contractor, you're responsible for using low VOC paints, adhesives, and flooring materials, installing water-conserving plumbing fixtures, diverting job site waste, and maintaining moisture control during construction. While it may seem like a lot, these requirements are now standard practice in California remodeling, and complying with them sets you apart as a professional who knows how to do things the right way. In the next lesson, we'll explore accessibility requirements and how they relate to remodeling work under California building codes.